Hello, this is Greta from Agape Book Club, and today we are going to do the review of The Vacancy in Room 10 by Serafina Nova Glass. I'm going to start off by saying I do apologize. I've got a wash running. We're trying to leave here in a couple hours to go look at some houses, and I want to wear something comfortable, so I had to put a wash in. So, excuse me. So if it's a little dark, it's because I moved my ring light to shine away a little bit. And yeah, I'm working on creating some challenges for Etsy. So I've been working on that. So it's been, yeah, I'm trying to get a lot done today before we go out. So, but let's get into this book review, and I will not give any spoilers out until later in the video, and I will make sure that I give you a good countdown before we go there. But at this point, we decided to read The Vacancy in Room 10 by Serafina Nova Glass over Verity by Colin Hoover. So Verity is going to get another chance in October to see if we want to read that against the book we do not choose next Monday. So Monday I will do, let's see, I think I have everything here. Let's just do this. So I need to color this in because we finished the book. I did write the name, so I'll color that in off camera. Excuse me. So let's see where I was going with everything. I have a calendar right here. So today is the 27th. We're having our book review. Then on the 30th, we will have our book intros for the 2 new books and the poll. So that's June. And then we are in July already. And then the poll ends on July 4th. Happy 4th to everyone. And then we'll do a book announcement on Saturday. And then we can start reading. And then we'll go through the month. Okay. So let's get into this book. The Vacancy in Room 10. No spoilers yet. So this one is a thriller, mystery, mystery fiction, suspense, adult. It never said spooky. So it's not a spooky book. No hauntings, nothing like that. It was a thriller. And we'll get into that. It wasn't very long. It was only about 300 pages. Grady House is the publishing company, and it was published back in April 9th, 2024. So, about the book, the summary is when Anna Hartley's husband Henry calls with her with terrible guilty confession, she can't believe what she hears. It had to be a bad joke. The mild, predictable artist she married would never hurt a fly, let alone commit murder. But her confusion turns into horror when police find his body washed up on the banks of the Rio Grande. Desperate for answers to millions of questions, his untimely death has arisen. Anna checks into the Sycamores, the rundown motel turned into apartment Henry rented as an art studio. As she absorbs every bit of gossip in the eclectic mix of residents are willing to share about her husband and each other, she begins to piece together a picture of a very different man than the one that she had married, and the life that he led behind her. The more she learns and the less sense things seem to make. She finds herself wondering, did she ever really know Henry at all? I definitely need a cup of coffee before this. But Henry's secrets aren't the only ones. As Anna's search for clues expands, Cass, the mysterious, jaded motel manager, seems more and more determined to keep Anna in the dark. And when threatening letters start appearing at her door, Anna has to decide what's more important, the truth or her own safety. All right. So let's get into the reviews online. No spoilers still. And overall, I think most people like this. Now, Amazon gave it a 4.1. However, Goodreads gave it a 3.73. Now, we know those numbers could be skewed by how many views and all. I mean, there was 2,500 reviews on Goodreads for this one. And I go in between Amazon and Goodreads. I just grab some and read through them and go from there. So I kind of like reading some of these because some of these are hilarious. And but I see a lot of good stuff about this book. So this one says, wow, just wowza. Let me say it one more time. Wowza. This book has not only secured its place in my favorite Serafina Nova Glass thriller, but it has also claimed the title of the best thriller I've read in the last 6 months. Now that's something big. The characterization is an absolute delight. It's not just the leading characters, Cass and Anna, who are true tough survivors, but the entire pool deck team, Jackie, Crystal, Rosa, he put Rose, but Rosa, and their witty banter, Barry, the samurai sword expert, and the little handyman, Frank, has stolen my heart. Team Sycamore might just overshadow the main characters. So I think that was a really cute way to explain some of it. This is the only spoiler I really found. And it's like it's not even a real spoiler. It kind of is, but it's not. You'll see later if you stay. Nova Glass does what she does best, creating a community where people look out for each other and creating characters that you simply fall in love with. I totally agree with that. All right. I love this girl. She was so funny. Like, she had all these cute little memes and stuff in here. So she put 4.5 stars rounded up. So she gave it a 5-star. And she said the first time I picked this up, it was the morning before work. I have about 35 minutes each morning before I start my real day where I sit and read and drink coffee. It's my me time, Monday through Friday. I picked it up again on Saturday morning and didn't stop until it was done. This was fully immersive and engaging. The day flew by. It was seriously so fun. And I love that. It's almost Friday. And then she's got these other ones. They're so funny. It's pretty sketchy. I got you. Anyway, and I love this part too that she said, I always love the feelings I had when reading this book. I found myself really connecting with the vibe of the Sycamores and the way that many of the residents interacted with each other. That found family feel was oozing off every page, and it took me by surprise. That's very nice. Excuse me. And then this one, the mic drop. Oh, she's hilarious. And then she said, I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys a well-rounded mystery thriller with captivating characters and strong levels of suspense. This will be a memorable one for me. I'm just so pleased. Thank you to the publisher, Grady House, for providing me a copy to read and review. For me, this was the best book I have read from this author. She slayed it. And then this one says, a crazy popcorn, page-turning, mouth-gaping read. My third by this author, and I am a fan. So that's pretty cool because I've never read her before. So that's going to be interesting to see what other kind of books she has. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to read some of these bold. She said, is it a she? Yeah. She said, my mind is well and truly blown. A brilliant collage of broken individuals, the suspense and mystery drove this one all the way. Don't start this one if you have plans you can't cancel or chores that have to be done. After all, if you're anything like me, you'll find yourself wide awake at 2 a.m. because you couldn't put this book down, not even for sleep. Not to mention the laundry I didn't do and the dishes that are still dirty in my sink. Don't judge me. You'll see what I mean. So why was this so utterly awe-inspiring and all of its unputdownable magic? Well, for starters, the setting was pure perfection. A rundown motel turned landing pad for the downtrodden. I could almost envision the blinking vacancy sign glowing neon. And just like Schitt's Creek, which I keep hearing about that one, so I may have to get that one, had me grinning with glee. The last saloon was exactly as you expect, but also oh so much more. She also says, shining star of this out-of-the-world novel would be the characters at the heart of the story, an entertaining collection of people living in a relative squalor. You'd never know it from your own perceptions. Cunning, hilarious, endearing, and a buttload of fun. I had no clue who to trust. The perfect recipe for one epic thriller. Could easily see each of the candid personas all coming alive on the silver screen. And then she says she's praying that happens. She said she'd be in the front row on opening day. So she really loved this book. A complex, winding tale told via dual alternating POVs. The climax was pure gold, and the conclusion left me smiling like a little kid. Slightly over the top, suspension of disbelief, suspension of disbelief. I honestly couldn't have asked for a better ride. So she just raved and raved and raved and raved about this book. So I agree with pretty much everything there. I really didn't see any real negative comments. The only one I saw was like, this book was horrible and I didn't like it. Like stuff that wasn't really like insightful of why or anything like that. But I also, there were so many. I only read a few pages. And so I read probably 6 or 7 pages and pretty much just anybody who didn't like it was just like, it's just like the last book I read, or it just wasn't anything insightful. So I didn't bring any negative ones to bring. So I am going, I'll go ahead and rate it before I give the spoiler, but I would give this a 4.5. I really, really enjoyed this book. Now we're going to go ahead and get into talking more detail about why I gave it a 4.5, what I liked about it. So there may be some spoilers going on. So if you do not want to hear any of the spoilers, I'm going to count down from 10 for you to go ahead and see you next time. Bye, guys. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Like I said, there really wasn't any kind of real spoiler alerts. I mean, there was, but like I didn't read any of them. I didn't highlight any of them. But like this one says, and Rosa, she was such a surprising delight. If you read the book, you know. Good Lord, that little girl. I like her. She was like one of my favorite characters for sure. All right. So basically, Cass and Anna, the two main characters, I really liked Cass. Anna was just kind of like anybody in my opinion. Like she wasn't really that, I don't know. She didn't stand out as the star to me. To me, Cass was the star. She was a badass. I really enjoyed her a lot. Like, you know, she came from a situation where she was basically, in my opinion, abused mentally by a guy, and he was not a very nice guy to make her change the way that she was and who she was. So she came out strong and a badass after that relationship, and, made a family of her own with all of these, considered maybe rejects. People that have, dealt with a rough life and a rough go at life, and some of those things that like were happening at the pool, and the kids, oh my gosh, the kid pooping in the pool, and oh my gosh, it really reminded me of being a kid, and like I would have, that might have been somewhere we lived, you know what I mean, like that was kind of the childhood I had. And it reminds me also of my brother, my oldest brother, who's passed away, when he had kids, and, my kids were super little, and we would all like go over to my brothers and my whole family, and all of the kids were there, and everybody was crazy, but we were just all together doing stuff. At the pool, there was a pool in his neighborhood, and we would take them to the pool, and I remember there was a cupcake on the ground, and it had ants on it, and my brother freaked the kids out and ate it with the ants on it. He was crazy. So that's kind of what it reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of my family in a lot of ways, though my family may be a little different than this, but these were some really great characters and people here. I really enjoyed it. Like, when they went, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me get to a couple things kind of in order here. But like Cass asking Callum to fix Anna's AC because she was like trying to be a hard ass, and then she was like, well, I feel bad for her. Like, I loved her. I loved her so much. And then Callum. I didn't see it. I did not see it. Cass stabbing Eddie. Oh my God. Like, I can't even believe, like, I would never have, been able to do what she did and show him that video. Like, woo. Oh my goodness. I'd be scared of him sitting there beating on a woman. I'd just call the cops or something, or I don't know. I mean, I would do something. You'd have to do something. But oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I loved Cass and little Frank Sinatra, their cute little relationship. And oh, I felt my heart broke when she couldn't go get him that McDonald's. I mean, it broke my heart, literally. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this poor kid who's been, just constantly looked over in his life, and something as simple as going to get McDonald's, I mean, it broke my heart. It's like, oh, he's not gonna get his McDonald's. You gotta get him his McDonald's. I understood why. Cass with the girls at Reed's house, or not at Reed's house, but at the charity ball. Oh my God. First off, the conversation at the pool, and them getting all excited. I could just picture them at the table. Like, she did, the Serafina Novaglass did so good just setting the scene, and literally you could visualize this entire book. She was so good at just building the scenes, and I loved it. I absolutely loved how I could literally, like, normally I try to see things, but you don't see them so clearly. This was like detailed pictures in my mind, and I could just see them all sitting around playing cards, and her come over and sit down with her little coffee, put her feet up on the table while they're playing cards, sitting back with her coffee, drinking, and like, well, yeah, you guys want to come? Yeah, that might be a good idea. I loved it. So cute. And then over at Reed's house, I did feel really bad for Cass. Like, mental breakdown. I get it, girl. Like, that is hard. That's a lot. But, and then when she turned him down, I would have never given him time or day to even go to the go get something to eat. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He would be DEAD to me. Done. 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 Nothing. Like, how dare you even try to talk to me? And then you're going to come over with your little girlfriend and try to take my tools back? Oh, hell no. Nope. I did not like that at all. Alrighty. So, my normal questions. Did you get sucked in? Yes, immediately. I got sucked in right away. I loved it all. From the beginning to the end, it started with Cass, and I was just like, ooh. And I didn't see it, like, go the way that it went from the summary. From the summary, my thought was she was going to go in and she was going to find things in his room that told him something. But I didn't know it was going to include this entire community of people. I thought it was going to be just down to what was going on there. So, but Cass definitely was my favorite. You don't need to know why because you've already heard why. And my most memorable part was the charity ball. I absolutely love that part. That was so funny. Just kind of like the whole situation. I could totally see that girl like falling into the table with food on it. Like, oh, yeah, she lucky. That's all she got. And then I enjoyed both of the characters, but I really loved Cass. Anna, I don't know why, but like, she wasn't that flattering to me. I felt bad for her. And actually, when her and Callum kissed, I was like, oh yeah, go for it. You know, this is going to be cute. A little romance after they both lost somebody that they really loved. They had a connection, but I did not know. I did not know he was the killer. I would have been dead. I would have been dead. If I was Anna, I would have been dead. Because I can't tell what a killer is, apparently. So, yeah, I didn't see it coming. That was a good segue. I did not see it coming. And it made so much sense. Like, when I started to see it coming together, like, honestly, I didn't even know until she went into Cass's apartment by herself. When Anna went into Callum's apartment, and he wasn't there, and everybody knew Eddie was gone, and all this stuff, I did not think about it until she went in there, and then they started dropping some clues, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? No! Callum and Anna were supposed to be this cute little couple at the end, and loved the Sycamore place, and we're gonna stay there, and they moved in together, and that's why there's a vacancy, right? Like, I was thinking all these things. No, Callum was like a killer, psychopath. Hello, no wonder he ain't scared of Eddie. He don't care. It was crazy, but it did make sense, and I love that everything made sense. I don't like it when something doesn't make sense. drives me crazy. Oh my goodness. So, yeah. Now, that Miranda girl, not Shade's budget Miranda, that's my girl. But the Miranda girl that was Anna's best friend, I did think it was her. I did think for a moment that he was having an affair with her best friend. And I was like, oh man, that's messed up. Like, that's horrible. But Henry was true. He was a true sweetheart. And I do kind of feel like Anna's understanding was super cool around Henry. I mean, I do believe you can love more than one person. I mean, everybody loves people and have love relationships with people. I'm not saying that you cheat on your husband or cheat on your partner. Absolutely not. That is disrespectful. But you're allowed to love other people that are opposite sex. I love my best friend. You know, he's a guy, and I love him. I love Dwayne. My little Dwayne Al, but my best friend who passed away. Did I love him? I absolutely loved him. And I would tell him, I love you. And it wasn't from like love, like I want to date you. It wasn't disrespect love. It was, I love you. I love your soul. I love you. you know. So I thought Henry's soul was very sweet based off of the things that were coming out. And, you know, he felt guilty, and I'm not saying that's something, but I'm glad that his, like, she could see and she could appreciate him struggling with something like that. And I'm sure there's people who will not agree with me, but I just thought it was, you know, really sweet. I liked the way that Anna handled or felt in that situation. And would you have told the police when you found out that he was cheating? Like, would you have done what Anna did? I think I would have, and maybe that would have been a mistake, is to get the police involved so early when you're just trying to figure out. Like, the fact that she didn't want to say something to Miranda about it. See, I would have just went and been like, why are you calling my man? What's going on there? I need to know. You need to tell me now what is happening. Because I see your phone number all over his. Explain. And when they were going through his stuff and she was saying things about him and his cooking and stuff like that, that was kind of like an intimate thing that Anna thought. And I mean, yeah, she could have been over when that was happening or whatever, but, or maybe even Anna at some point told her about that. And she had that memory, you know, but I would have totally thought it was Miranda, and I did at some point. So, yeah. Reed, I'm glad that Reed's character was there for the fact that Cass was, you know, Cass needed a backstory, but that's all he was a backstory. And Rosa, let me tell you, that I can just picture this cute little 4'10" little Hispanic girl, little tiny girl, and her just being a complete badass. And I can also picture Eddie being this big, huge dude with tattoos and all that, and engaged ears, or maybe not gauged ears, but just like this big, muscular, tattooed dude. He's probably very hot. In my mind, he's very hot. But he was a jerk, and he was part of the cartel. I mean, that's like cray-cray. But, like, that's the bad boy, right? And then this cute little girl who's quiet and meek and, you know, and she's just a little badass. She's a little badass. She knows how to keep her mouth shut. And I just loved her. I loved her character. Between Cass and Rosa, those two were my absolute favorites. And I wish I knew more about Rosa. Like, I kind of would love to see this story in Rosa's perspective, if you know what I mean. Maybe not like the storyline, but like if Serafina Novaglass took Rosa's story about how she met Eddie and the situation that they got into, and then you know, kind of up to when, you know, Eddie was gone, and then what did her life look like? So I don't know. I would love to see a story about Rosa. So, anyway, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed this book. You can find my review pages, just little templates on my Ko-fi. The calendars are on there. I made some bookmarks. They're also on there if you would like those. And my bracket's on there. And I'm going to update my bracket after this next month and put a new bracket up with all the new books that, well, all the books that we did not read and that are going into the next round, so we can have that second chance with them. And yeah. So, and I think I said before that if you don't pick the book the next time, it's out, but that's not true. It's not necessarily out. It's just going to go over again, and we'll try to read them. I don't know why I said that, but I'm kind of thinking about maybe adding a couple of new books in there. So maybe we go through these, and if it's out, I'll replace them with a different book. and we can try something different. I think that's what I might do. Because if it's out 2 times, like, we really don't want to read it, right? So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And I may do the 2 recommendations that we have. Well, not recommendations. If you guys have recommendations, that's what I meant to say. If you have a recommendation of a book that you would like us to read, please let me know. But that Schitt's Creek and the one Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, I'm going to probably add those because those are the 2 that I've heard about. And then also Darcy Coates. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my husband came down to talk. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. Just basically, we were going to add a couple new... Oh, Darcy Coates has Ghost Camera, and I think she's got another book coming. But anyway, I might throw another Darcy Coates in there. All right, well, unless we pick Ghost Camera between House of Hunger and Ghost Camera. We'll see. All right, I'm going to end this now. You guys have a wonderful and great weekend, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.